18. Black. Errol is thrown back into his cage with his little pageantry as before. He tries his best to ride on that spontaneous mania that had prompted him to so bravely spill his guts to the Sioux. But just below the surface, like some leviathan of dread pushing up against the thin sheet of ice of his consciousness, he knows he's reached the absolute pinnacle of what it means to be fucked. It's a loopy, brittle feeling. Like if he relaxes even a little bit, that gossamer ice sheet will explode, and so will his entire self along with it. He's getting real fucking sick of shattering into a million pieces at this point. He's getting sick of being outside of his bedroom for this long. He thinks about a bowl of ramen dripping with mozzarella, and his stomach begins to weep. The contrast between the memory of his cozy little bed and this hard limestone floor forms a psychic needle, and a tinkling network of cracks begins spiderwebbing itself across the ice. It collapses into the depths, and that massive black despair slurps him up. Now he's the cheesy doodle. Mercifully, the darkness of that whale is distracting enough that he's able to fall into a fitful yet deep sleep. After a few disjointed dreams which he'll never remember, he finds himself standing in a vast open field. Someone is there with him, just out of sight. Enough lucidity returns to his mind that he falls to his knees at the thought of who it must be. When the presence does not reveal itself to him, he cries out, "Hello? I know you're there, you alien piece of shit. What the hell more do you want from me?" The being still does not stir. Errol feels the rage boiling up inside him. In that moment, he knows he's never felt angry in a dream before, and that makes him even angrier, like witnessing a sacred place being desecrated before his eyes. "You won, okay? Congratulations! You managed to outwit a massively inferior being. Great accomplishment. Bet they all think you're a real hot shit motherfucker out there in the intergalactic community." He tries to spit and discuss, but the dream doesn't seem to be able to simulate that particular function. He instead curls up into a little cicada husk on the ground. "You won. Do whatever you want with our planet, just leave me alone." He is allowed to lay there for several of whatever passes for minutes in the dream world before a shadow appears over him. A psychic voice he's never heard before echoes in his skull.
"The war is not yet won, child of mine," she says.
Slowly, he looks up from his dry weeping. The Hyperborean standing before him is not wearing the loud and pompous robes of Grandhead Zebulon. Rather, she's dressed in something that almost looks like it was torn from an idyllic painting of 1940s Americana. "Granny Sin?" he asks. The gangly creature extends a delicate gray hand. He grabs it and hoists himself to his feet, fearing for a split second that his weight might be too much for the extraterrestrial before remembering that this is just a dream.
"I worried that you might lash out at me," she apologizes. "Better to let screaming dogs lie, they say. Or rather, I say. I've never been too keen on the dumb, virulent nature of standard idioms."
She lets out a psychic chuckle. It's a natural, human phenomenon compared to the chattering knobby tentacles of the other Hyperboreans he's come across. Errol nods as if he agrees with her sentiment.
"You're not angry with me?"
"For what?" he asks.
"Oh, any number of things," she says. "Siring your line, for starters. God knows I'd be a bit sour over that in your shoes. Being here at such a late hour in your journey, for seconds. Primarily, I'd assume, you having been in contact with my better, that he must have told you all sorts of nasty things about me."
"He did," says Errol. "But that wasn't long before he took my powers and left me to rot."
"Stole your girlfriend, no less."
Errol skips a beat, not knowing how to respond to such familiar ribbing. I figured that the enemy of my enemy is worth listening to." Suzuki smiles without moving her lips.
"I'd expect nothing less from one of my own."
The subtlest hint of an embarrassed expression crosses her face.
"Lord, there go my Hyperborean eugenics again. Just the thing we're trying to avoid, no?"
Errol expresses through thought that he's not sure what she means. Her embarrassment dissipates and her shoulders visibly relax.
"Your poly-great-grandfather used to tell me I was very insensitive to human struggles. Of course, that's how children are, aren't they? You teach them what you know to be right, and if you're lucky, they turn your torch into a bonfire and singe off all your hairs with their light."
She lets Errol see her catch him wondering if she really did have hair once upon a time, but gives no hint one way or another to the answer. Finally, he asks, "Should I be angry about him being born?"
"Your forefather."
"Yeah, that's the first thing you said I might be mad about." He doesn't say aloud that he's never had mixed feelings about having been given the gift of life. Her Aurelian eyebrows actually raise a hair in consideration.
Well, she says finally, I'd have a bone or two to pick if I'd believed I was the product of a natural, random love, only to learn that I was a scientific experiment.
Personally, Errol thinks that idea sounds absolutely awesome, and the sort of thing he used to fantasize about as a kid.
Well, that's an extraordinarily fortunate coincidence, she says. One wonders if that attitude wasn't engineered into you.
He'd never thought about that, and the thought gives him a weird sort of vertigo. Was it? She shrugs.
Could be.
You don't know. She reads the details of his incredulity.
Oh, you must understand, child, that I am not the engineer of your creation any more than I was the engineer of mine. Well, perhaps a little bit more so, but you catch my meaning.
Who was then? He asks, his mind suddenly feeling ravenous for answers. Was it Zebulon? She unleashes a laugh that breaks free from her psychic voice. It becomes a weird alien howl that passes audibly over her lips.
Oh, heavens no, boy. That sort of thing is far outside that dolt's area of expertise. It's far more complicated than that.
How so?
Well, who was it that engineered the city of New York?
Robert Moses? She slightly purses her lips.
Paris.
I don't know. She punches his shoulder. The dream tells him that it hurts, but it doesn't.
The Parisians, of course.
He frowns. And we're the Parisians in this analogy? He feels betrayed by the after-school special platitudes.
I mean only to express the intricacies of it all. True mysteries are not mysteries because of some clever mastermind pulling at the strings and keeping it all well hidden, you see, but because they are complexly woven into the very fabric of the world. Like an ancient, magnificent temple buried under mountainous jungles teeming with life.
Ancient temples that your people built. She gives him another sly, subtle smile.
Perhaps we did.
Darryl allows himself a moment to feel a little vindicated by that admission. Whether or not she's holding something back, or just plain lying, he decides not to trouble himself with just yet. He's still being held captive at what he assumes is one of the most secure facilities on the planet Earth, after all. He turns to Syntyche, only now realizing that she's been guiding him in a stroll across the valley. What are we going to do? He asks. Are you going to save us? The alien continues to walk with her hands clasped behind her back. After a moment, she shakes her head.
No, child, I'm not going to save you.
Something huge and invisible moves through the shadows beneath the stream. Nero can't help but squirm. But I thought, he starts. Then what are you even doing here? His ancestor turns sharply to glare at him.
Calm yourself, boy.
That huge, dark something writhes again in the darkness. An ancient, primordial voice at the base of Errol's spine howls in his ear, and he knows that he is in no way about to calm down. What do you want with me? He sputters. Back there, on the mountain road, those were your goons that tried to abduct us. Why didn't you just contact me the same way Zebulon did? How do I know? Something like a psychic cane cracks him on the back of the skull, followed by the impossibly level voice of Syntyche.
I would have gladly done so, but Zebulon got to you first, she explains. The device of my friends, clumsy though they were, tried to wrap around your head with a simple damping mesh. It would have cut you off from Zebulon's influence and allowed me to step in.
Weird to think that the most advanced race in the universe could ever be described as clumsy, Errol jabs. Another crack from the psychic cane.
Forget not that I'm both your elder and your forebear, young Ritter. I smacked the ass of many a generation before you, and I shall not hesitate to do so again. The most advanced race in the universe, yours and mine. Oh, how fortunate. What are the chances? Such rhetoric is an insult to both humans and Hyperboreans alike, not to mention all other thinking beings we share our worlds with, and you're damn well old enough to know it.
Without any conscious effort, Errol's mind autofills, even for a human, and she smacks him again on the head, this time physically. Ow! Syntyche snorts.
I'm positively fuming, young man. It's as if you aren't even aware of what's at stake here.
Errol tries his best not even to think. After some more moments of walking, Syntyche's voice once again enters his head.
The power in you, that which was facilitated by Zebulon.
What about it?
I can reawaken it just as easily as he.
Errol stifles the excitement trying to worm its way into his brain. No thanks, he says. I don't want your handouts. He fully expects the psychic cane again, but it doesn't come.
Very well,
she says, and makes as if to exit the dream. Wait, he cries.
Oh?
She pauses.
Whatever for? Surely you haven't changed your mind so quickly.
Errol finds himself desperately not wanting to give in to her control over the situation. He does know what's at stake. He can see the surface of that barren ball of quark dust as clearly as if the images were being projected into his mind once again, but still his stupid primate mind is prioritizing his goddamn ego. He feels disgusted by the thought. He sets his jaw. No, I don't want your handouts. It makes me feel fucking pitiful. Small in a way I've never felt before, knowing that this power comes so easily to your people, but is totally unheard of in mine. It makes me want to climb into heaven and throttle God. And that makes me feel even smaller because Syndicate holds up a slender hand.
Peace, child. I don't need the performance, and neither do you.
He feels utterly derailed, but he shuts up.
Can I tell you something?
What?
On the other side of the moon, aboard our mothership, the world where I was born and raised, grass is never green. In the few corner gardens where it even sprouts, it is always black.
Errol wakes up in his cell before he can ask her what she means.